everyone. Just getting all set up. I'm right here. So I don't know if you remember. Hi Jordan. I did this board. I'm gonna move my transfer that I'm using tonight. So I had done this board, and I'm gonna try to readjust so you can see. Hopefully you can see it. Hey Eleanor. Hi Michelle. This is a bigger board, so it's kind of hard to get it all. There we go. So this is my biggest board that I own from Couture, and I like to change it out occasionally. And that's the nice thing about these boards from Couture, is that you can love your design for a little bit, and then you can change it. So tonight I'm going to show you that. So I had this 3D embellishment on there, so all I have to do is take that off. And then I have this design at the bottom, and all I have to do is just mist this with water and let it set for just a minute. Oh, maybe I messed it up so you guys can't see it. Hopefully you guys can see. How's that? Is that better? There we go. So I just let it sit for a second, and then you can take a rag and just do circular motions and rub it off. The Couture chalkboards are magnetic, and they are a steel chalkboard. They are warranted for 50 years. Hi Patty. And I think this is the fun part of Couture, is that you get to change your design when you're tired of it. I went and cleaned windows today. I washed my curtains. So I was like, we rearranged the living room. So I thought, why not put a new design on here? Okay. So it does have a little bit of a cloudy look to it, but that's okay, because I'm going to spray it one more time. Is it still pixelated? It's looking better on my end. Is it looking better now, Eleanor? Oh, there it goes again. It's like coming and going. I'm sorry. Okay, so I don't have my HTO cloths yet, so that one was just a that was just some, you know, no name brand microfiber cloths. So I'm going to dry this really good. But just like that, it's all brand new surface to use. So I'm going to take a hair dryer to this real quick to dry the rest of it. Look at how fast. Awesome. So tonight I'm going to do this transfer, and it's a big one. So I like to show you guys these, because they are a little bit of a challenge to use sometimes, because you could, if you're doing one color, you could apply it all at once. But I think I'm going to add a couple different colors in here. So you can either cut this apart, but I don't want to cut it apart because I've kind of found a solution to how to fix it. These are super sticky when they're first used. So what you can do is you can write on the back side. This is the back. So you know when you put the transfer back on, because the transfers are reusable. Silk screen transfers from Couture. That's another really nice thing about it. You can wash them and reuse it again. So I'm going to take it, I'm going to peel it back very carefully. And this is the best way to do a big transfer, is to just slowly peel it back. Okay, I'm going to try and get my finger up there. And I'm going to take, this is just like a microfiber cloth, and this is called fuzzing. And the reason I'm doing this is because the chalkboard surface is very smooth. And so if we make this transfer the first time a little bit less sticky, we won't have so much trouble getting it off. And I'm pulling this back carefully because I don't want it to stick onto itself like that. Don't panic. See, even Heidi makes boo-boos. Yikes. This is part that it is nice to have a second person in here to do these. Yikes. Eleanor, are you cringing with me? Some of these transfers are super sticky. Okay, I haven't mangled it too bad. Okay. Yikes. So you know what I'm going to do? I've already fuzzed that top part. I'm going to lay my transfer, this part back down, and I'm going to fuzz this bottom. There. So much easier. Okay. I know they do. They are kind of crazy. Okay, so do you see how I handle that? I just put this back down so I can make sure that it's not going to do that to me again. Okay. Now to get my hand off there, I just need another hand. That's all I need. Hi, Tasha. So, we're going to lay this transfer back down on the board and make sure that I have it. Yeah, I should. And I'm just centering it between the boards. And I'm going to work from the bottom up, just kind of smoothing this transfer on here. Making sure that I have my bubbles worked out. Okay, that looks pretty good. So I have 3 colors that I'm going to be working with tonight. And hi Dawn, hi Soul. So the colors I'm going to work with tonight, I have red and I have Caribbean and I have custard. And what I like to have is a piece of parchment paper that I can use. So I'm going to have my parchment paper ready, and we're going to start on, I'm trying to think of the best way to do this. I think I'm going to start at the top and work my way down. So my main color is going to be the custard. So I've already stirred these, but you do want to take and use like a little makeup stirrer and stir it. It has like a yogurt-like consistency. And then you can add water if it's too thick. So we're going to do this part up here. And all you have to do is just drag it across. It dries quick. That's kind of why we have the parchment paper, is that we're going to do this in sections, kind of. So I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to peel it up, and then we're going to dry it, and then do the next color. So all I'm doing now is scraping off the extra and putting it back into my container so that I can reuse it. And I'm making sure that my lines are, you know, kind of blended out. Okay, so that first part is done. So all I have to do is peel this back. Get my finger under there. And I'm going to expose what we chopped already. So I'm going to lay this down. I'm going to slide this chalk paste, the chalk paper, or the parchment paper underneath this right here. And I'm going to take the hairdryer and dry this. One of the nice things about the chalk paste is it goes on wet and it dries hard and it's not going to rub off. So I'm going to get one more piece of parchment paper. Hold on. Okay. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay my clean piece of parchment paper down over this, and it's just going to protect it because just in case anything goes through. And I just want to make sure that I can see most of my area of where I need to still chalk, like this little swirl right here. Okay. So the next, and the reason I didn't want to use this one is that I had some chalk on there. So that's the reason why I didn't want to do that. And I'm going to flip my lids on these chalks, or you can spray a paper towel and lay it on top just so they don't dry out. So next color I'm going to use is the Caribbean. And I've already, again, I stirred this before and I did add a little bit of water to it just to make it a little bit easier to spread. I'm going to do this section here. Custard is one of my favorite colors because of the white, or I just like that creamy look. So again, just spreading it on just this section here. and then putting the extra back in your container. It's been super windy here today. We don't typically have wind, but boy, it's whipping today. Okay, so we have that done. I have a little bit on my fingers. Let's wipe it off real quick. Okay, so again, we're going to peel it back to that to expose what we just chalked. And I'm pulling not at a diagonal. I want to pull, you know, either up and down or to the other, you know, the side. So now I'm going to dry this. That looks good. Now we can lay that parchment paper back down and we can push this back up. Again, just making sure that we clear this next area that we need to do right here. Okay, so this section here we're going to do in custard. I'm making sure all my bubbles are out in the area that we're working on. I know I was afraid when I knew that I wanted to use it, Eleanor, but I was like, I wanted to make sure that it's in the book. But of course I forgot to check and see if it's even available. So hopefully, okay, it's a big one for sure, and it has a bunch of flourishes. But I'm not going to put any flourishes on there. Okay, so then we're done that. This is just a step-by-step process. Just kind of laying it over. I'm going to dry this section. Hi, Judy. Okay, so what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to put this back down. I'm going to put this up. Then let's start from this side and peel up this way. So I know I'm going to do love in red. So I think I'm going to do stronger in the Caribbean. So we'll do this part. I'm almost to the end of this container, Caribbean. And I love, one of the things that I love so much about Couture is that their transfers give your letters texture. You could not do that with vinyl. It would be too difficult to get the texture that you get with these. So I'm done pretty much with, I know, with my Caribbean. So I'm just going to I'm putting all my stuff into water so that I can wash it. I'm going to close this one up. Hi, Kara. I'm working with a big transfer, showing you how to make it easy. So I have parchment paper here, and you can watch the replay to see how I did it from the start. But I did the top half, now we're doing the bottom. So again, make sure that you're not pulling at a diagonal. Pull up and down, or side to side. So, we have that exposed. I'm going to lay my parchment paper underneath there, just so it doesn't get any goop on the area that I'm working on. I'm going to hold this back and dry it with a hairdryer. Hairdryer makes the transfer stickier too, which is a challenge. Okay, so now I'm going to slide this transfer right underneath the edge of what I just chalked. So it just protects it, because this could have some stuff. Section here, I have a big section, pretty much I only have 2 colors left. I'm going to do custard on this here. And I'm just using this squeegee that I've cut in half. And then I'm just scraping my extra back on, making sure that I'm kind of minimizing my lines. It doesn't take a lot to, you know, just kind of lightly go over it. Okay, so we're done with custard. I'm going to just take this chance, close it up real quick. Wipe my fingers off. Okay, then we're going to expose this a little bit more, and I'm going to put this here. Okay, now we're just going to dry this section. Now we're almost there. So I'm putting my parchment back down to protect that area. And then we're just going to make sure that, you know, I'm just looking to make sure my parchment paper isn't underneath this area. This is all we have left to do is the word love. And I got my red. I've already stirred it. Just stir it up. If you have to add water to it, go ahead and add. You can spray bottle a little bit of water in there and stir it up just to get that right consistency. And then I'm just putting the extra back again in my container. Hi Carla. Hi Rebecca. Okay, so here we go. We're going to peel off the last bit of this. Now at this point, I would take this, my daughter's in the shower. I like to take this into the shower, stick it to the shower wall, and so just if I have like this, I can go stick it to the shower wall, hit it with a sprayer hose, and wipe it, and that will get all this off. So I'm just going to kind of stick it to the back of my door until I can get in there, because she's in the shower. I'm going to pull these off. I'm going to dry this real quick. There you go. Hi Tammy, how are you? So that's my board for tonight, but how awesome is that? And that wasn't, do you think that made it a little bit easier, Eleanor, to see it like that? If you're still watching, hopefully she's still here. I'm sorry it's a little bit pixely. Hopefully it'll stop and you can kind of see what it looks like. So I'd love if you guys enjoyed what you're watching. I'm sorry if you didn't catch the full thing. You'll be able to watch it on replay. But these are silk screen transfers. They're reusable. What we did tonight is already dry. It's not going to come off. And it's ready to hang on my wall. And in a month, if I'm tired of doing that, tired of this thing, I can just spray it with water and start all over again. And that's what I really like about it. So you can love it for a little while, or you can do it and make it permanent. I would use like wood, or you can put it on glass, you can put it on plastic, you can you can even put it on a wall if you wanted to. So thank you for joining me tonight. If anybody has any questions, please message me. I'd be glad to answer them. Thanks for joining me. Have a good night. Bye-bye.